Hello and welcome to another episode of Coach's Corner. I'm Editor-in-Chief Micah Freeman, and I'm here with cross-country head coach Austin Enriquez. So, with the season coming to a close, can you tell me a bit how the team has grown?
Okay, we've grown a lot with in my opinion, our endurance and our strength. We've done a lot of aerobic work throughout the year, in summer including, and our kids are looking very stable and haven't had too many major injuries like we've seen in the past.
Yeah. Not having many major injuries would help a lot with a sport like this.
For sure. And we have a lot of overuse injuries. No broken bones, no major concussions or anything like that. But ours are like, well, we're on our feet banging up our legs all the time. So we got shin splints or stress fractures, knee problems, tendinitis.
Same thing that happens with track usually.
Yep. So we've really managed those better, in my opinion, than some of our previous years.
Okay. How have you get to the point that you're managing that better?
It had to do with training. We really shifted when we were implementing speed, some of our higher intensity training. And because of that, we've saved their legs and have been able to implement the speed now when we need it the most, when we're peaking.
All right. With this season coming to a close, how have you, what are some specific coaching experiences that you've had this season?
There have been a couple really fun ones. This past weekend, one of my coaches made a bet, with one of the runners, and if they ran a certain thing and they won, then he would jump in the little lake down there. So
Did he jump in the lake?
Oh yeah, he's a man of his word.
All right.
Coach Reed is always going to be a man of his word, and they also dunked the water cooler on him. They kind of brought the water to him before he jumped in the lake. So that was really fun. Being able to watch the kids PR, and not just once, but I have a couple runners. More than a couple that have PR'd multiple times in a year.
How do you feel when they PR?
That's when you see them so happy with themselves after a race. That's it's what it's all about. Yeah, I like the finishing. Yeah, I like the clinking of the medals that they wear around their neck afterward. I love the recognition that they get, but the joy that they feel after they've put months and months and months of work in, watching that 15-minute race to 21-minute race be so meaningful. That's why we do it. So it's been incredible.
All right. How would you like to see this team grow going into next year?
Numbers. We got loads and loads of boys. We have a deep team, and I don't care if you're looking from 1 through 25 plus. We got boys that are extremely committed, and because of that, varsity, JV, JVB team, JVC team, they're all charging for the next spot. But our girls, we just don't have the numbers. So I think recruiting, I'm going to have to do a lot of middle school work in track season, going down to the track and meeting people and just, making them aware that it's available. It's a tough thing right now in the spring with all the sports that have been introduced. I like flag football, but it tends to pull some of the runners that we might get. And I like lacrosse, and I like volleyball, and I like all the other things that we got going on. But
it pulls people away.
Our numbers are low, so I'm trying to be flexible with having 2 practices a day if needed. I really, really would need just a larger girls group.
I know that a lot of people focus really on the varsity only and the times that they get, which are always incredible. But can you tell me a little bit about the JV?
Well, don't want to talk too bad about our state. I love being in Georgia, but GHSA made a choice to not run the JV anymore at the state qualifying meet. It used to be that JV would run all the way up to regionals, and they would compete on that day, and then that was it. The whole team was there, varsity and JV, and because they went to sectionals, which is a larger meet with many more teams there's not really the room to run a JV. There is, but they decided to not allow sectionals to also have a JV section. So when my kids heard that, we decided that we were going to go ahead and make a JV championship. So we hosted the JV championship, and many teams from Georgia came to get their JV one last shot to run and one last hoorah, and it was great. And that was one of the reasons that we did that. We wanted to make sure that not just the varsity athletes are doing well, but and getting recognition, but all those JV kids had a time to shine. There wasn't even a varsity race. It was all about JV.
All JV.
Yeah. So my varsity kids came down here. They did a workout on the track, and then they painted up. And I think you may have seen them. They were running around cheering for everybody, and I think they had more fun than they ever had at a meet. And it was cheering on the JV.
Because it helps with motivating the next people coming up.
Yeah, and I'm sure you saw our group. They're deep. We had a lot of great times. It was a fun meet.
All right. Can you tell me about this meet on this Saturday?
Well, this is our state qualifying meet. It's sectionals. We host it. We also host one of the private sections as well, which is great. I love having a big meet. I love when lots of people are there. It makes the atmosphere a little bit more tense, which can be good for fast racing. And it's going to be a good course. It's a tough course. I like true blue cross-country courses. I'm not the biggest fan of grass tracks that don't have many challenges. And our course has that. It's got a couple big hills, a couple rolling spots that make you lose your momentum if you're not focused, just like Carrollton, which is what we'll see next weekend after this weekend.
Speaking of courses in cross-country, the meet that I went to, a lot of people said that the course was really rough to get through. How have that improved going further into the season?
When we make a shift to afternoon practices, we start meeting at one church, which is where we host that meet. And a lot of our workouts will be going up and down those same hills that we're going to have the challenge on the race.
And it's going to be the same church this weekend?
It will. We're going right back to one church. We've been on Panther Path Hill a few times this year to prep for the hills. Did a lot of hill sprints. So I feel like they're ready. And if you look at their times, they're showing that they're absolutely ready.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Right. Thank you for watching this episode of Coach's Corner. Be sure to watch every episode of Coach's Corner on theprowlernews.org and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at SMHS Prowler. Thank you.